This is People versus Scott Michelle's. The record should reflect that Mr. Michelle's is present today by video from Crawford County Jail. We do have Ms. McGregor appearing as the prosecutor in this case. Mr. McFeld is here from the probation department, and then Mr. Thompson is also present, all parties by Zoom. Mr. Michelle's, you're before the court today for arraignment on some alleged probation violations. Have you been made aware of what the alleged violations are?
I think so.
Did you want me to go through those with you? Or
Sure.
do you understand? Okay. So it's alleged that you've committed 2 technical probation violations. At count 1, a violation of condition 1 of your probation in that on or about March 18th of 2026, you violated state law by operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. At count 2, you violated condition number 3 of your probation in that you failed to report to your supervising agent during the month of March of 2026. It's also alleged that you committed 3 non-technical probation violations. At count 3, a violation of condition 1 of your probation in that on or about March 31st of 2026, you violated state law by being in possession of methamphetamine. At count 4, that you violated condition 2.4 of your probation in that on or about March 31st of 2026, you were in possession of methamphetamine. And count 5, that you violated condition number 1 of your probation in that on or about March 31st, 2026, you violated state law by being in possession of a firearm while in the commission of a felony. So do you understand what the allegations are?
How many times have I had possession of methamphetamine?
Well, it may only be 1 possession, but it would be in violation of 2 different conditions of your probation.
Oh, okay.
One, that you're not to violate state law, and then the other condition of your probation, which is you're not to use or possess any controlled substances unless they're prescribed to you. So it may be only 1 possession, but it violates multiple parts of your probation. So do you understand what the allegations are?
I do.
Okay, so I'm going to go through a few things with you with regard to your rights. First of all, you do have the right to have a hearing as to whether or not you did violate your probation as alleged. You also have the right to have an attorney present at any subsequent proceedings. If you can't afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you at public expense. Mr. Thompson is here for purposes of this arraignment today. And if at any time you wanted to talk to Mr. Thompson, I would take a break and put you into a breakout room so you could have a private discussion with him. If you are found guilty of any of the non-technical probation violations, in this case, it could subject you to the maximum possible penalty on your underlying charge, which is possession of methamphetamine, and that's up to 10 years. Do you understand all those things about your rights?
I do believe I do.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson, have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Michelle's today about how he wants to plead and proceed on these?
I did. We reviewed the complaint and the maximum penalty that the court just did. He is requesting a hearing on this matter. He is requesting court-appointed counsel. He qualifies, and I will be appointed. We are prepared to address bond. Thank you.
Okay. And Mr. Thompson, are you going to demand that hearing within 14 days?
Not at this time, because we don't know if there's going to be underlying charges following.
Okay. Ms. McGregor or Mr. McFeld, do either of you have any recommendations regarding bond pending a hearing on the violations?
Your Honor, I do. Looking at this case, obviously, I'm a special prosecutor on the previous case that's in front of you and several cases that Mr. Michaels has in district court. I believe that you recall at time of sentencing that he had or maybe you don't, he had a bench warrant in district court that I indicated he should turn himself into the district court window at that time, which when he left court that day, he did not. Since that, there was another driving while license suspended case. Technically, there's 4 now. There's been 4 charges. That case went to bench warrant status for failure to appear roughly 4 weeks ago. He was pulled over recently driving again while license suspended, which is one of the probation violations. And at that time, he was picked up obviously on those bench warrants too. I believe when you look at a bond, there's several things the court takes into consideration, obviously, but one is likelihood to appear. And based on the defendant's continuous failure to appear in district court, even when yourself ordered him to go to district court window and turn himself in. I believe that he's still a flight risk in this matter, and especially since not reporting well on probation. When you look at the underlying charges, and I will just let the court know and defense know, I just reviewed, and there are charges I think that are being turned into district court right now after my review for possession of meth, felon in possession of during the commission of a felony, and maintaining a drug house. When you look at the underlying offense that brought him in front of yourself, besides the failure to report, he had a 22 caliber rifle, 5 pipes, 2 digital scales, a white folded paper with 0.10 grams of methamphetamine that was tested. When they showed up to the door, 3 children were in the home. When they asked for the defendant to step out, it took them over a 5-minute period, and they finally had to enter without him appearing. I believe based on the scenario, when you looked at safety of the community, especially minor children in the home, but safety of the community, he continues to drive, he continues to use methamphetamine. I believe it's a substantial risk to the community. His likelihood to appear is not obviously based on his prior situation, is unlikely for him to appear. So I know our courts, every court is different, but based on those circumstances, I believe 150,000 cash surety, 10% bond would be appropriate, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. McFaldo. Was there anything you wanted to add to Ms. McGregor's statements?
No, Judge, she has it all the facts correct.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Your Honor. In terms of a bond and Mr. Michel's likelihood to appear, it is my understanding that he is taken care of any bench warrants. He doesn't have any active bench warrants at this point through those district court cases. It's my understanding that Mr. Michel's volunteered to me that today, April 1st, was a report day, and he was intending to report today. I'm a little unclear about what happened in March, and it's not necessarily for the record today. I know there was an arrest around March 18th. I don't know if that interfered with his ability to report. Mr. Michel's is a longstanding resident of Crawford County. He's got strong ties to the community, a lot of family in the area. He owns a home in the area. He works in the area. I believe he would be likely to appear in court, Your Honor. Ask the court to set a reasonable cash bond on this. I think $5,000 with possibly a cash surety or 10% option would be sufficient to ensure his appearance. Thank you.
All right. Taking into account all the factors, and I think both counsel, Ms. McGregor and Mr. Thompson, outlined factors that all would apply under the court rules in terms of the court's consideration of pretrial release. Obviously, the ones mentioned by Mr. Thompson are all mitigating factors. The ones mentioned by Ms. McGregor would be aggravating factors, but all of them are valid factors for the court to take into consideration. I do have concerns regarding appearance for the reasons outlined by Ms. McGregor. I also have concerns for public safety, again, for the reasons outlined by Ms. McGregor. I do think $150,000, even at 10%, might be a little bit excessive given the underlying, the maximum possible penalty on the underlying charge. And the fact that this is a probation violation. There may be a different consideration of bond on the new charges when they come forward, but I do think a substantial bond is appropriate in this case. So the court is going to set bond in the amount of $50,000 cash or surety. That's not 10%, that's $50,000 cash or surety. I think that would adequately ensure Mr. Michel's appearance and public safety pending that hearing. I am going to just set this for, kind of a probation violation status conference hearing next Thursday on my full day in Crawford County, just because it sounds like some things are in flux with the addition of new charges. And even if we don't proceed with the hearing on that date, I would like to just check in on the status of that file. And Ms. McGregor, I mean, typically, I know you're still the prosecutor on this case, but is that something that Mr. McFarland could handle if you're not available next Thursday?
I believe so, Your Honor. I also, if I could appear via Zoom, Thursday just happens to be my full court docket and I don't have an assistant.
Yeah, of course. No, that's no problem at all. So, all right. So that's how we'll proceed. The court will include along with the money bond, all the standard terms and conditions of bond and all terms and conditions of probation. Ms. McGregor, Mr. McFarland, anything that we need to address for the record here today?
Nothing further from myself, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Thompson.
Nothing further for today's record. Thank you.
Mr. Michels, do you have any questions about how we're going to proceed with your case?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all for this hearing today, and all parties are free to disconnect at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.